Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to dive into something I think we could all use a little more of, calm.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're going to be exploring Stoicism,
Okay.
this ancient philosophy that's
Right.
surprisingly relevant, I think, to our
Yeah.
modern chaotic lives.
Absolute.
And you wouldn't think that something from ancient Greece
Mm-hmm.
would have so much to say about dealing with a frustrating coworker or
Yeah.
that never-ending email inbox.
Oh, yeah.
But Stoicism is all about practical wisdom for navigating like the ups and downs of life.
It really is.
And our source material today is a breakdown of Stoicism from the video, How to Never Get Angry or Bothered by Anyone.
Okay.
That title is a bit ambitious.
Yeah, a little clickbaity.
You're a little clickbaity, right?
It definitely grabs your attention.
Yeah.
But it does get at the, I think, the heart of what Stoicism is trying to do,
Yeah.
which is to give us the tools to not be so reactive,
Mhm.
so easily thrown off balance by the things we can't control.
Which is, let's be honest, a lot of what stresses us out.
Oh, for sure.
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
So where do we even begin with Stoicism? Where does it even start?
So one of the most fundamental and basic ideas of Stoicism
Okay.
is that you cannot control what happens to you,
Okay.
but you can control how you respond.
Okay, I've heard that before.
Right.
But I'm guessing there's more to it than just like positive thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah. It goes much deeper than that.
Okay.
It's not about denying your emotions. The Stoics weren't trying to be like emotionless robots.
Right.
It's more about recognizing that initial knee-jerk reaction,
Oh, yeah.
that surge of anger or frustration,
Yeah.
and hitting the pause button before you act on it.
I love that image of like a pause button for your brain.
Yeah.
The video uses the example of someone cutting you off in traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of instant road rage,
Right.
Stoicism says, take a breath,
Take a breath.
choose a different response.
What's it?
And that pause, that moment of choice, is where Stoicism gets really interesting because
Mhm.
it's saying, you're not a slave to your emotions.
Right.
You have the power to decide how you're going to act,
Exactly.
even when things don't go your way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is more than just a feel-good philosophy.
Yeah.
But let's get real for a second.
Okay.
How often do we actually pause instead of reacting?
It's tough.
I know I'm guilty of firing off that angry email or letting someone's bad mood ruin my day.
It's a practice.
Yeah,
It's definitely a practice, not a perfection thing.
right.
And Stoicism acknowledges that.
Okay.
It's not like you should beat yourself up if you don't get it right every time.
Right.
It gives us the tools for recognizing those patterns
Mm-hmm.
and consciously choosing a different path.
Speaking of patterns,
Yeah.
one I definitely fall into is like having sky-high expectations
Yeah.
and then getting frustrated when people don't live up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that Stoicism tackles as well?
Absolutely. The video quotes Marcus Aurelius as saying,
Okay.
people act according to their nature, not ours.
That's a truth bomb.
It is.
But I can already see how just that simple idea could save a lot of heartache.
Mm-hmm.
We get so caught up in how we think people should act,
Yeah.
we forget they have their own motivations, their own
No nature.
nature.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about a time that you were let down by somebody.
Okay.
Was the expectation that you had of them actually realistic?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you projecting your own desires onto them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
The video actually shares a personal anecdote about that.
Okay.
And when they really examined it,
Right.
their expectation was way off base.
Yeah. And that's the trap we often fall into.
Yeah,
We set ourselves up for disappointment
right.
because we're not seeing people clearly.
Yeah.
We're seeing an idealized version of them.
Okay, so what's the Stoic solution?
Well,
Just lower our expectations of everyone.
no, not exactly.
Okay.
Become a cynic. It's more about understanding that people will act in ways we can't predict or control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Okay.
It's about accepting that reality
Right.
and focusing on what we can control.
Okay.
Our own reactions, our own judgments.
Okay, now this next one I think is a bit tricky,
Okay.
but I think it's so important.
Right.
We've been talking about letting go of control over other people,
Mm-hmm.
but what about that need to always be right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how much energy do we waste on that?
Oh, the ego trap is real.
Oh, it's so real.
I love how Epictetus put it
Okay.
with a little bit of humor.
Okay.
He said, if someone tells you that you're a fool, do not be angry.
Hmm.
Instead, reflect. Does he know all my other faults?
Huh. So good.
Yeah.
It really puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
It's not about being passive or letting people walk all over you. It's
Mhm.
about choosing your battles wisely.
Exactly. Letting go of the need to win every argument,
Right.
especially over really trivial things,
Yeah.
frees up so much mental and emotional space.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's not about abandoning your principles.
Okay.
It's about recognizing when it's simply not worth the energy to engage.
Right, and I can already see how this ties into the whole control your reactions thing.
It all connects.
Yeah, like the video talks about someone criticizing an idea that you're really proud of.
Okay.
Instead of getting defensive,
Yeah.
Stoicism encourages you to pause and ask, is there any truth to this?
Right. Maybe there's a valuable lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just noise that you can choose to ignore.
And that's such a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
To see criticism not as a personal attack,
Mm-hmm.
but as potential information, or
Yeah.
just something to let roll off you.
It takes the sting out.
It really does.
And when you're not constantly on the defensive,
Yeah,
you have so much more energy for things that truly matter.
right. Which brings us to another important Stoic principle,
Okay.
setting boundaries.
Ooh, this is a big one for me. I'm
Yeah.
such a people pleaser. I tend to say yes to everything,
I hear ya.
even when I'm already stretched thin.
Mm-hmm.
Any Stoic wisdom on how to break that pattern?
So the Stoics were big on recognizing the impact of the people we surround ourselves with.
Okay.
Seneca said, associate only with those who make you better. That might sound harsh,
Yeah.
but it highlights the need to be mindful of who and what we allow into our lives.
So it's not about cutting everyone off
No.
who isn't a perfect role model.
Right.
It's more about setting boundaries
Exactly.
to protect your time,
your energy,
your energy.
your well-being.
Wow.
The video uses the example of a friend who calls at inconvenient times.
Yep.
The Stoic approach isn't to get resentful or passive-aggressive.
Right.
It's to communicate your needs directly,
Okay.
but kindly.
Okay.
And they even suggest a script.
Oh.
You can say something like, hey, I really value our conversations, but I need to reserve this time for focus.
Okay.
Can we chat later?
That's so helpful. It gives you a framework
Yeah.
for being assertive without being a jerk.
Right.
I'm definitely going to try that.
Good.
Okay, this is all starting to feel like a toolkit
It is.
for a less stressful life.
Yeah.
What else do the Stoics have for us?
Well, they were big believers in the power of gratitude.
Okay, now, before you roll your eyes,
Yeah, I know it can sound a little cheesy.
it can sound cheesy sometimes.
It can.
Yeah.
But the Stoics recognized
Okay.
that you literally cannot feel anger and gratitude at the same time.
Oh.
They occupy different spaces in your mind,
Okay.
and they saw gratitude as a powerful antidote to negativity.
So, like, instead of getting frustrated when I'm stuck in traffic,
Yeah,
I should try to find something to be grateful for.
exactly.
No.
The video suggests finding 3 things to be grateful for in that moment.
Okay.
It could be something as simple as the comfortable seat in your car,
Okay.
or a good song on the radio, or the fact that you're even able to be stuck in traffic, meaning you have somewhere to go,
Right.
something to do.
I've actually tried that before,
Okay.
and it is surprisingly effective.
Yeah,
It shifts your focus,
it does.
even if just for a moment.
Mhm.
And I love how actionable that is.
Mhm.
It's not just a vague concept.
Right.
It's something you can do right now.
Right now, in any situation.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of Stoicism.
right.
It's all about practical application.
Yeah.
And speaking of things we can put into practice,
Okay.
the next Stoic principle we're going to dive into is the art of letting go.
Okay.
And I have a feeling this one is going to resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay, letting go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's one of those things that's easier said than done.
It is, right, for sure.
Like, intellectually, I get it.
Yeah.
Holding on to anger or grudges just hurts me, not the other person,
Right.
but actually doing it.
Yeah,
That's a whole other story.
it is. That definitely is.
Yeah.
But the Stoics were really onto something with this idea.
Yeah.
They saw holding on to negativity as a form of self-sabotage.
Okay.
It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die,
Wow.
to borrow a quote from the Buddha.
That is a powerful image.
Yeah.
It really highlights how much we harm ourselves
Mhm.
when we cling to those like negative emotions.
And it's not just about big things like grudges either.
Okay.
It's about everyday resentments,
Mhm.
anxieties,
Mm-hmm.
those little things that keep us stuck in a cycle of negativity.
So how do we actually break free from that cycle? How do we let go in a way that actually sticks?
So the Stoics would say it starts with awareness.
Okay.
What are you holding on to
Mm-hmm.
that's no longer serving you?
Right.
Is it a past hurt?
Yeah.
A worry about the future?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even just a habit of negative self-talk?
That's a good question to ponder.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get so used to carrying those burdens, we forget we even have a choice to put them down.
We do.
Yeah.
And remember,
Yeah.
letting go doesn't mean condoning bad behavior
Oh.
or pretending something didn't hurt.
Right.
It's about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of it.
The source material talks about acceptance being a key part of letting go. Like, we can't change the past, but we can choose how we react to it in the present.
That's it. That's where the power lies.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring the hard stuff.
Okay.
It's about choosing to focus your energy
Right.
on what you can actually influence, your own thoughts,
Oh,
your own actions.
You know what strikes me is that Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming this cold, detached person.
No.
It's almost the opposite.
Right.
It's about understanding your emotions so well that you can choose how you respond to them.
Yeah, it's about taking responsibility for your inner state.
Okay.
Rather than letting external circumstances dictate how you feel.
Okay. I'm really starting to see the appeal of this philosophy.
Oh.
It's practical. It's
Yeah.
empowering. And it doesn't require you to become some kind of emotionless monk.
Exactly. It's about becoming more fully human,
Yeah.
more in control of your inner world,
Mm-hmm.
which then allows you to navigate the outer world with more intention and clarity.
All right. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Choosing our reactions, managing expectations, letting go of the need to be right,
Right.
setting boundaries,
Yeah.
practicing gratitude,
Yeah.
and now letting go.
Yeah.
It's like a whole toolbox for a calmer, more resilient life.
It is. And the best part,
Yeah.
it's a toolbox you can carry with you everywhere you go.
Okay.
You don't need any special equipment
Right.
or a fancy retreat,
Right.
just a willingness to practice these principles.
But I will admit, it can feel a bit overwhelming
I hear you.
to try and implement all of this at once.
Right.
Where do we even start?
So the first step is awareness.
Okay.
Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions throughout the day.
Yeah.
Notice those moments of reactivity, those negative thought spirals.
Yeah.
That's where you can start to apply the Stoic tools.
It's like that pause button we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Hitting pause before reacting and asking yourself, is this within my control?
Right.
Is this expectation realistic?
Yeah.
Is this worth my energy?
Those questions can be incredibly helpful
Oh,
in reframing your perspective
yeah.
and choosing a more intentional response.
So it's not about denying our emotions.
Right.
It's about acknowledging them,
Yes.
understanding where they're coming from, and then choosing how we want to act,
Exactly.
rather than just reacting impulsively.
Yeah. And the source material also talks about the importance
Right.
of having some guiding principles to refer back to
Okay.
when things get tough.
You mean like a personal philosophy?
Yeah.
A set of values?
Yeah. A set of values that helps you stay grounded.
Okay.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
It could be something as simple as I choose kindness even when I'm stressed,
Mm-hmm.
or I prioritize my well-being and set boundaries to protect my time and energy.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like creating a personal mantra
Yes.
to help you stay aligned with your values, even when things feel chaotic.
And the more you reflect on those principles, the
Yeah.
more they become a part of who you are,
Right.
a guiding force in your life.
This whole deep dive is really resonating with me.
Good. I
And
know
it's,
you.
it's like Stoicism is about becoming more fully human,
Mm.
more in control of your inner world,
Yes.
which then allows you to navigate the outer world
Yes.
with more intention and clarity.
It is. And remember,
Yeah.
the Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from within,
Okay.
from aligning your thoughts, actions, and values with nature and reason.
So it's not about waiting for the perfect conditions to be happy.
No.
It's about finding peace and contentment in the present moment,
That's it.
regardless of what's happening around you.
It's about recognizing that you always have a choice
Mm-hmm.
in how you perceive and respond to the world.
That is a powerful reminder.
It is.
No matter what life throws our way, we always have that choice.
We do?
We can choose peace, we can choose resilience,
Absolutely.
we can choose how we respond.
That's the power of Stoicism.
This has been incredibly insightful,
Thank you.
but I'm curious to hear what final thoughts or takeaways you have from all of this.
Well, you know, it's funny. After exploring all of this,
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Stoics would be big fans of the unsubscribe button
Oh, yeah,
if they were around today.
totally.
Yeah, they were all about cutting out distractions
Yeah.
and focusing on what truly matters.
Mm.
And in our modern world, that could definitely mean kind of decluttering your inbox,
Right.
your social media feeds,
Yeah.
anything that's adding unnecessary noise and stress to your life.
It's like they were early adopters of the minimalist mindset.
Exactly.
Centuries before it was trendy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from mastering our reactions to finding peace in the present moment.
We have.
But if you had to pick one thing
Okay.
you hope our listener takes away from this whole deep dive, what would it be?
I think for me, it's that realization that we have more control over our inner world than we often realize.
Okay.
Life is going to throw curveballs. There will be frustrations, things we can't control.
Right.
But Stoicism reminds us that even in those tough moments, we have a choice.
We do?
We can choose peace.
Yeah.
We can choose resilience.
We can choose how we respond.
Exactly. It's not about ignoring the challenges.
Right.
It's about facing them with a different mindset, a Stoic mindset.
It's so empowering, isn't it?
It is.
It's not about ignoring the challenges. It's
Yeah.
about facing them with a different mindset, a Stoic mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about tapping into that inner strength
Well, yeah.
and wisdom that allows us to navigate the ups and downs of life with more grace and, dare I say,
Yeah.
even a bit of humor.
All right, so time for our final thought-provoking question for our listener to ponder.
Right.
If you could pick just one of these Stoic practices to really focus on this week,
Okay.
which would it be and why?
Yeah. What resonates with you most strongly right now?
Yeah, is it mastering your reactions? Letting go of unrealistic expectations?
Yep.
Setting those much-needed boundaries? Or maybe cultivating a deeper sense of gratitude?
What feels like the area where you could use a little Stoic boost?
We'd love to hear your reflections on that.
Yeah.
And if these Stoic ideas have piqued your curiosity, don't stop here.
Yeah.
There are so many amazing resources out there, from the classic texts
Right.
by Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca to modern interpretations that make this ancient wisdom super accessible.
Absolutely.
It's a philosophy that stood the test of time for a reason.
Yes.
Its wisdom and practicality are just as relevant today as they were centuries ago.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Stoicism.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, remember to keep seeking knowledge, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the things that make life richer, more meaningful, and maybe even a little bit calmer.
Absolutely.